Okay, in Q, we were pushing down, making some lows this morning. We had a bit of a low coming into the U.S. cash session open. I did some buying down there and pretty much went flat. We had 9 o'clock news, and after this long signal and some lift here, a bit of lift this morning. Actually, you can see it right in here. We're getting some higher pivot lows. We did get a long shot of news. So in my bigger picture look on the NQ, we've been all up until right here. There was a key level I was tracking. We traded into that. So right into this this last push and a little bit of rotation lower, I started putting in some liquidity, just a little bit. And so I'm currently short a few. So I made a little money on the long side. Working the short side right now, and this is on some Apex, some newer Apex eval accounts that I'm working on, and I'm doing good in the TPTs. TPTs, I was working longs this morning, some long side action, and then you could see pretty nice rally out of the news, had an initial pullback, had another big pump, right kind of below an area that I was tracking from prior days. So we had a little bit of a pullback, then lift. We came up, made some range extension. To me, it's been a pretty straightforward day. Fortunately, we didn't have a lot anywhere. The market, had a little bit of a, I would say maybe a slight bit of accumulation after some lift from the lows of the morning. And then right out of the news, it's been pretty much rally mode until the rollover right here. Now, it makes some sense. We did come up to a key area that I was paying attention to from before. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is an area I was paying attention to from before with some additional resistance just above it. But then see this cluster right in here? This is a very prominent area. This is a prominent area because there was no ability to trade higher, and then the market really rotated lower and broke through some of this area of prior support. So if we take this and go all the way back, and then right at the top of this candle body and above is kind of the area that I was considering as a zone of heavy resistance to the upside. As you can see, they pumped it pretty hard today. Not much of a pullback other than this one. Typical what I call investment bank side coming in. They pumped 0 DTE options. They were buying futures, all automated, and certain baskets of stocks that, it comes on like an on-off switch some days. That was on the whole time. They ran it right up just shy of that level. I like these little oscillations and the deceleration. So we had 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 leg, 4 leg, grinding, a bit of a rollover. So I went in light with some liquidity and figured if it pushes one more time into that area, I'd be willing to hang on and maybe hit it a second time, and then it just keeps running, then just let go. But we did get a rotation, so we came just shy of that area that I was watching and have since rolled over. And I did get confirmation here, so I put in 3 MNQs up here and then added one. And that's good because if this dies and rolls over, I don't need a lot of position size on to get up to, about 1,000 on the day to 1,200 for the day because I already made money on the long side on the way up this morning. So I caught some of this move. I didn't even ride it all the way up. I was looking for a certain amount of dollar amount to get to, and then I was hoping they would rally it so I could have, some sort of decent sell set up, because the market's been kind of weak prior days. So it's not surprising if they rally it out of news, and we did have news at 9 o'clock U.S. Central that we should get some sort of short opportunity. So this baby's been long since pretty much the open all the way till just now where we flipped to the short side. Now these are the same time frame, the Renko bars. Just this one I have the iGrid set to a more, I guess you could say, bigger picture move, and this is my responsive one. And at times I even turn the candles off. So if you're wondering where the candles are, I've got them turned off. Let me go turn them on real quick. And voila, I've got the candles back on. So you can see right here, we had a lower pivot high, put in some liquidity. Then I got a confirmed signal, added some, and I'm running and gunning. At least I'm in still four runners. I've hit some initial targets. How much did I put on up there? I think I was up to 6. So I've taken off 2 contracts at the bust of this level, and I've got 4 running. I'll probably take off 2 more right in here, and I'll see, see what happens. If we get a flip and go back alongside, I'll just flip out, flatten those out, and wait for a new setup. So let's take a look at how things looked on TradingView. Okay, so we've had the pullback lift, the big push up. That was around the 21st of March. We've had a lot of range-bound garbage in this range. And then we got the sell day. And this is one of my lower time frames that I look at. So we got the sell day. We had that M pattern and rollover. So now you can kind of see right here. Let me grab my drawing tool here real quick. There we go. You can see we kind of were trying to lift there, and then it really died and ramped over. And if you remember on my NTA charts, I was showing you that zone I was paying attention to. That's in there. We came up just shy of it, and now we've rotated lower. You can see we had a bounce into end of day yesterday, some settle back. That held, and then this morning we didn't quite come down to the low of the other day and lift, but I wasn't surprised to see some buying in here this morning out of the U.S. Session Open. So it's below this up a bit. So anyhow, this is the iGrid Evo on TradingView. We have the 2-dimensional smoothing. We have unique math in all 3 parts of the indicator. So in Heikin Ashi number 1, that's the one you can set more responsive to price. You can adjust the responsiveness of that Heikin Ashi. This is the one that we utilize to control the shift portion of the indicator. So that we have some unique math options in that. And then the shift portion of the indicator is reading this Heikin Ashi. So we can affect the settings. We can adjust the settings in Heikin Ashi 1. We can then affect the settings and how responsive we want the one on price to look for pickup or kickback against downtrend points and downtrends and so on. Like I could make this Heikin Ashi like really super responsive if I wanted to, 4. And you'll see that's that one right there over price. I mean, it's literally when you're trading with Renkos, it'll kind of mask price. At a setting of about a 3 or 4. Now, I don't like to go that high, so I'll bump it up to a 7. That's what I usually leave it on. It works for me. You could go even higher. You might want to say, oh, I only want to see, where it's really rolling over. It's totally up to you. All this stuff is adjustable. And you have multi-moving average. So we use the shell of an Aaron's. That one is not an SMMA. That's just the terminology. It's a different type of math. We have a version of the T3 that I've always liked for your Heikin Ashis. This one, we have it set on what we know is really good math. The moving average in that math is reading Heikin Ashi number 1. So that adds what I call the 2-dimensional smoothing. So this Heikin Ashi reads price. So that reads price. That's 1 dimension of smoothing. The shift portion of our indicator that gives us our trend bias, that's reading the Heikin Ashi closes. So that's reading that. That gives us our 2-dimensional smoothing. So I've seen some people send me emails and, they kind of get close to what this is with some contraptions they built. And they show it to me on Renko and say, oh, I got about 10 or 15 or 20% of what you have. And I'm like, well, yeah, to a point, that's for my particular settings that you went perfectly matched up. But you got to realize you're looking at Renkos and I'm looking at Renkos. Now go look at a time-based chart or a tick chart or range bar chart and see what your old school indicator with old math and only one dimension of smoothing, how it gets defeated by this indicator because we're now not looking at price that's as uniform as you get with Renko. So far, some people, just kind of have a challenge of seeing if they can build something to match it up. And a couple people said, hey, I got within 10 or 15% on Renkos, but then a few of them have been like, you're right. I went to a tick chart and range bar chart, and you're right. I can't get the flip points and get in as early and get out as early before the change as the iGrid Evo can. I'm like, that's right, because we have unique math that's a bit more responsive to price than math I found in the past. So that's one benefit. And then we utilize that in the shift portion of the indicator that's reading another part of the indicator. Okay, so anyhow, got distracted by some phone calls here, but back. And anyhow, yeah, we have two-dimensional smoothing, this advanced indicator, and on the uniformity of Renkos, you could probably get stuff to come within 80 to 85% of what we have here in overall capability for this one setting and time frame. But as you spread out across different time frames, different bar types, and then get into the adjustability, now I can take any old school or old school math-based indicators or all the indicators that typically only have one dimension of smoothing, and I can just blow them out of the water with the iGrid. So we're advancing the iGrid Evo in TradingView to take it from an indicator to a strategy. That's in works. Let's see, we already have a version 2 of the iGrid Evo fully automated system for NT8 in the works. Have the iGrid Evo new versions of the CBOT for CTrader, new versions of the EA for MT4, MT5 in work. So a lot of big stuff on deck. And then I have some additional items I'm going to add to the mix going forward that I've used in the past that I think will be effective additional tools for those trading FX, futures, crypto, stocks, whatever you guys are trading, and so on. So there you have it. Just want to give a quick update. I had the big pump. We're getting some cyclical activity here. It looks like a bit of a flag possibly forming. We'll see if we try to push it higher, that resistance area above, or if we're going to roll over and backfill the day's range on the rally side of things. So there you have it. The iGrid, or actually the iGrid Evo. Let me go ahead and set this back to a 7. That's what I like there. And we'll call that good for the part of the Heikin-Ashi that's more responsive to price. And remember, all of these colors you can change. You can have portions of the indicator where you can see it or not see it, set them transparent, and so on. So yeah, TradingView has pretty good graphics. I think one other thing we're going to do to the indicator for the TradingView bump up and give the ability to grow the thickness and size of both Heikin-Ashis. So we can already do that with the line, and these are fixed setting, but I'm going to bump that up. I think that'll help for those that want to see it big and fat and be able to see it really good, especially if you have it on like a TV screen type monitor farther away in your area where you trade versus somebody just watching it on a PC right in front of them or a laptop. So iGrid program is expanding and more goodies coming on deck for everybody involved. So there you have it. If you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com. Talk to y'all later.